everybody, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about the artifacts that are coming with Rise of Iron. As you guys know, I was invited out to Bungie to mess around with some new stuff and give you guys my feedback, let you guys know what it's all about. Huge thank you to Bungie and Activision for allowing me to do that. It's always an incredible experience. So I thought I would just give you my experience with said artifacts, as they are going to be kind of a super big game changer. Like, I don't think they're as huge as everyone thought they would be. They thought they'd be the only thing that really mattered and your loadout would be your artifact. But they are going to be a huge thing that we have to think about when it comes to our playstyle, what we're trying to achieve, and stuff like that. So I didn't experiment with every single artifact, but I did get to use quite a good amount. So I'm going to be going through those and also showing you gameplay of me using those artifacts. The one that I went to go for straight away was, of course, getting rid of my super, having 2 melees and 2 grenades, which by the way has been confirmed, triple, quadruple confirmed, that they do not stack with armor that already gives you an extra grenade. It doesn't stack. You can only have a maximum of 2 melees and 2 grenades. So as a Night Stalker, my super is pretty good. I mean, it shuts down other supers. It can be really awesome, but it's not a slaying super, and Night Stalkers are known for their just awesome neutral game. Now, how do you make a Night Stalker's neutral game even better? You give them more access to their smoke and their grenades. So I instantly went for that one, and for sure your neutral game is absolutely insane. If you are running discipline and strength, you will pretty much always have your wombo combo up, which I know is gonna make a lot of people really sad. Like, I know, I'm sorry guys, they're gonna make you super sad. But what I will say is that we were initially fighting against a butt ton of Hammer Titans. And Hammer Titans are very difficult to shut down sometimes. And if I was a Night Stalker and I have my super, I could have actually put in a lot more work against those Hammer Titans than if I just didn't go for the double melee and double grenade. Because what happens in Supremacy is that you gain your super way faster than other game modes like Control, etc. Of course, Mayhem is a lot faster, but you gain your super way freaking faster. So all these Hammer Titans were just getting their supers over and over again. They were picking up each other orbs, and there was no stopping it. If I had my super, I could have put some brakes on their hammer train and potentially be able to climb back into the game. So I definitely regretted that. Maybe for Supremacy it would be better to have my Night Stalker super. Of course, I don't know if the super energy gain has changed at all since the build that I played on, because it was old. But for Supremacy, I would say I probably would have liked to have my super. Maybe Trials will also be kind of nice to have a super. I don't know though, but it is definitely awesome. It makes your neutral game through the roof, and it makes you kind of impossible to 1v1, which is nice. It's nice to always win 1v1s. So for Night Stalkers, it's going to be super great. I know a lot of Blade Dancers were also thinking of doing it just because they're not super big fans of the super with Blade Dancer. So I think a lot of people are probably going to use it. I mean, having an extra grenade and an extra melee is always good. There's not any situation where it's bad. Stormcallers can have that extra melee charge and get that super long range melee without having to use Claws of Ahamkar. That's pretty freaking big. So I think this is going to be one that quite a lot of people are going to use, and I think people are going to get a little frustrated by especially Night Stalkers and Stormcallers using this artifact and not having to use an exotic to get 2 grenades and 2 melees. Now the next one that I used was the enhanced motion tracker, and also the ability to see your radar when aiming with a primary weapon. So this artifact is always going to be useful. It's never going to be a bad thing. It's just going to be down to your preference. I don't think a huge crazy amount of people will be using it, but for all of those people that really love using Graviton Forfeit and they want to use a different exotic, this is going to be pretty good. You won't have Keen Scout, but you will have the radar that you're used to. So if you have gotten super used to using that radar, then this artifact is going to be pretty good for you. It's always good to be able to see your radar even when you're aiming. Like, that's never going to be a bad thing. It's always going to be a helpful thing. I would say it's going to be very helpful for people that are fairly new to PvP, or they don't think that good at PvP, because it's going to enable you to have a better radar awareness, better map awareness, because you can constantly instantly see if there's anyone around you if you are aiming down sights with your primary weapon. Again, I don't think too many people are going to use it. It's literally just going to be a preference thing. If you like having that enhanced motion tracker and you like being able to see your radar when you're aiming, then you're obviously going to love this artifact. Now, the next artifact that I used was the one that highlights enemies red if they're low on health, or it highlights them yellow if they have their super ready. This one I think is very good. It's going to be super great in Trials of Osiris when you're running with people who maybe you're carrying, or you guys haven't really played together very much and you don't have your communication locked down. It's going to be really good for that because you can all see who is low. You don't need to be like, oh, the Titan is low, you gotta kill him, he's got like no health left. You will visibly be able to see very, very clearly, as you can see by the gameplay, when someone is low on health. It's also going to help people who don't like staring at people's numbers to see if they have their super active, because if you didn't know, you can already see if someone has their super ready to go by looking at their little number, like their level 40, and you will see a yellowy gold glow around that. If you don't like doing that, or you don't want to have to pay that much attention to something, it's going to be really great for you. You can clearly see very obviously when someone has their super ready. You can call that out to your team, you know, blah de blah, this Titan has his super, be careful. And that's going to be very helpful for a lot of people. It's going to be very good in Trials. I don't think it'll be that useful in 6v6 because it's like, who cares if someone has their super ready? People have their supers all the time in 6v6. It's not going to be game changing to find out if someone has their super, but in Trials of Osiris it definitely is game changing to know if someone has their super. That is life or death. That is kitty cat cape or no kitty cat cape. We can't have that. It's not good. So I definitely think that some people will be using that when it comes to Trials of Osiris. It's useful. I personally probably won't use it. I don't think that I really need it, especially with the team that I play with, but maybe playing with subscribers, I would recommend that they use it so they can kind of know a little bit more information about what is happening on the battleground. Now, the last artifact besides the PvE one, which I talked about in a video, I'll put the link in the description where I just talked about that all the time and meleeed people till my heart was content. The last one is having no sprint cooldown. Now, a lot of people don't really seem to understand why this is such a big deal, and the reason why it's such a big deal is kind of why Bones of AO are a big deal to any hunter that has gotten used to using it. You are so used to that movement that not having that movement available to you basically makes you completely trash and you just don't know how to even handle yourself. You just don't know. You have no idea. And that's kind of what the no sprint cooldown artifact is going to turn into. If you use it and you get used to it, you're going to get to the point where you just don't know how to play without it. You're so used to having it. It's the artifact that you didn't know you needed, but now you really need. And that's how it was with Bones. I didn't know how much I needed it, but now I do. I can't do anything without it. And I think that's how the sprint cooldown thing is kind of going to work. It's going to become such a part of your movement that you just feel clumsy and clunky if you're not using it. Now, of course, Striker Titans are probably going to enjoy this artifact the most because they don't have to worry about getting their sprint back up again to have to shoulder charge someone. So I think a lot of people might be a little bit sad about that there's no cooldown on their sprint. They can do it whenever they want, and they will shoulder charge you and insta-kill you whenever the hell they want to. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see how that turns out. I think that the go-to ones for me are going to be the double grenade and the double melee, and also the no sprint cooldown. So I'm obviously going to test them extensively, especially in private matches, see how helpful all of them are. But preliminary, what I will say, preliminary, is that a lot of Night Stalkers and Stormcallers and probably Blade Dancers will be using the 2 melee and 2 grenade, and I would say that all the Striker Titans are going to be using no sprint cooldown, and I think no sprint cooldown artifact is going to kind of become the norm for a lot of PvP players. So that is going to do it for the video, guys. If you have any questions about artifacts whatsoever, let me know in the comment section and I will do my very best to answer all of those questions. Of course, I will be also doing an extensive video about the artifacts as they're coming out when Rise of Iron is here. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll speak to you awesome people later. Bye.